Hello, guys. Welcome to Gospel Reactions once again. Thank you so much for always liking and sharing, subscribing, of course, telling your friends about what we do right at Gospel TV. Big Lala is very much in the building today, and we've got Asake, of course. Once again, there's been so many talks about Asake and the new age. The fans is getting the song and everything. Someone mentioned that the album is actually one song in 12 different parts. I mean, does that mean it's monotonous or it's enjoyable, or how would you term it?
Well, that person was definitely fell into the modern trap of artists
Yeah.
when they try to make their albums or projects a continuous thing.
Yeah.
And so what they end up doing is they make it in such a way that the last bits on the previous um, of the previous record,
Record,
and
yeah.
because some of these DSPs now, the way they actually turn out to be, these DSPs they I forgot the name of the feature. So immediately a song finishes, there's no pause before they already buffered the next one down. So immediately
Yeah.
that one is stopping, the
It's
next one is starting.
starting,
So
yeah.
so a lot of these platforms have that in play. So what artists now do is they make sure that there's no unnecessary silence between the end of a track and the start of a new track. So some now make it a bit more sync. They sync the end of the track to the start of the new track. And so what that person noticed was something intentional from the artist. It wasn't an indication of saying, oh, it was one big record.
And then after that, we saw Asake announcing the US tour. I mean, promotion have been going on that one. Signed to Empire, Billboard, YouTube, across, everywhere. Times Square in New York, Asake everywhere. And I saw a couple of people arguing if Asake is truly ready for a world tour or not. I mean, he's big on the local scene. Is Asake really ready for the international scene?
Of course, I think he's ready. Seeing how his records are doing well, or the albums are doing well, and I know we're saying world, but his first target audience are Nigerians in these cities. And the Nigerians in these cities, are they feeling it? The answer is yes. Every single, in fact, even people that are not even born in Nigeria, they are feeling him so much. You get so that's his first target before any other thing else. Yeah. So of course, I would say he's ready. He doesn't have to sell as much as 20,000 capacity like the whiskies of this world. Yeah. But he's ready. He's ready. He's going to start his 5,000 capacity, 2,000 here, 3,000 there. I think he's born ready.
Okay. Do you think that this time is the right time for an international, appearance, tour, and all of that? Is this the right time?
Why not? Why not? He's at the top of his game, if I would say, or he hasn't even picked yet, but he's having a really good time. And when similar artists that were having this one, did they not reach out? Did they not try to do tours across the world? Of course they did, right? People like Ruga, people like Buju, when they were having this sort of ones, were they not performing? People like Omali, when he was having this sort of ones, was he not performing in African countries before he spread his tentacles wide to some other cities? Of course, he did. Omali went on a US tour, North American tour. Fireboy went on a North American tour. Of course, and this guy is having a similar one like these guys. It's a no-brainer for him to want to go on tour. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, so how does an international tour or trying to go international, does it affect his stronghold on the home scene in any way?
No, see, don't mistake it. Him going on tour is not. It's an attempt to spread the gospel of the music, but it's not an attempt to go international. First, he's trying to satisfy.
You think he's not trying to go international?
Wait. This tour is the first aim is to first satisfy, bring the experience of Asake that people enjoy on the home front to his international fans, who are people who already like him. That's the first aim. Wherever the second aim can now be, get more people to experience him, get more people to experience him.
That's what I'm asking. Do you think that he is not trying to go international? When you say, he's not trying to go international, do you really think so?
His record deal with Empire is already a means of him trying to propagate his music internationally.
So
right?
is that a good move or a bad move
That
for him?
who says it's not a good move, and is it not working for him? See the kind of places. How can an Asake be getting the #1 spot on Apple Music UK? His album. That's crazy. That's crazy. People do a lot to get this, man. I mean, somebody comes in one and he's doing it like without.
Don't throw shades right now. Don't throw shades right now.
No, it's not about throwing shades.
I know where you're going to.
No, I'm not. No, it's so hard for people to do, but somebody did it, right? You have to recognize that that whatever they're doing is working.
Yeah.
Working. Yeah, and yes, you can't. I can't say it's not trying to be. Of course, the whole Empire deal is to get the memo when they put it out. Is to work when they signed the deal.
Yeah.
To propagate the talents across the world using their channels, and that's exactly what they're doing.
So, in the long run, do you think it's going to affect the home front?
How is it going to affect the home front? Is it changing his sound? Is it changing his sound? Is it not the same as Asake?
Yeah.
Exactly. Even on his record, they say make it change the sound, and then waiting concern him with Federal, waiting concern Soldier and Federal, one of the lyrics, one of the songs.
Yeah.
So he's not changing his sound. He's been as original as he is, and that's the kind of thing Afrobeat is doing right now. You don't even need to change your sound. That was this mistake of changing sound was the first mistake. The first people who tried this Afrobeat to the world thing. The first mistake they made was change of sound. That was the first mistake. The guys who are coming now, they have been as original as possible. They're not changing any sound. Nobody is changing sound. So people are liking Afrobeat for what it is, and that's the beauty of it.
Okay. I mean, Asake has announced the US tour right now. Everyone is loving that one. Do you think the US should have been the first destination for Asake?
Of course, Nigeria. There's a lot of Nigerians in
not the UK, the where he's #1 on the albums chart.
He will reach there. He will reach the UK, but US is a much bigger market. In terms of structure of Afrobeats, not like UK is there too, but I think something that is within their reach. Empire is, I think, perhaps locally based. They have more. I mean, they have to first go on there, let him appear, and all this. Get. So what the things they are publicizing is from the US at the moment. So let them go. Let him go there. And it's not about who does it first or which country first. The cocoa is make the Asake experience go around, and I think it will go around.
And how does this help his career as an artist? How does this? Big Lala, when we talk, and I mean, as a host, I like to, say a couple of things, but a couple of things that have been said today, in a way has contradicted what you've said in the past. At times you talk about an artist staying grounded locally, you get, and there was a time you talked about an artist, saying the international market is not, for the artist. I've forgotten who, that person was. Was it Olamide? Yes, Olamide, saying, internationally it should not, it's not. Now you're supporting an Asake for global success right now. What changed?
Because you are it's like I said, you always do this every time. It's false equivalence, right? And Olamide making an international attempt after over a decade in the game, with no attempt at all, right? Was never going to work for him. It was what he had done before, with the success he had at that time was good, was dope for him. He was able to achieve. He had the international hits that went in South America. He's done that, and without even putting much effort. But he's past that. I won't say he's past his fun. He's past
that phase.
What's wrong with you? He's past this phase of his. He's past that phase. As an artist. And that was undoubtedly when he was at his peak. You remember, now see what he's trying to do to go international? What did he do? The first mistake that these other guys are making, change of sound, is what he's doing right now. When people are now loving people for what
and you think Asake is not going to change his sound if he really wants to be up there internationally?
What is he changing? There's nothing to change. I don't think this guy has he doesn't have any intention of changing any sound. I don't think he does, because like I said, in this album, it's in the lyrics. He's not going to change any sound. what he's doing right now, being as original as this, is giving him so much results. And also the age that we're in, the digital age we're in, is making him seem like a big success outside of Nigeria.
Now there are two types of international. If you with the conversation we had right now before we go, there's one of Nigerians in the diaspora vibing to your song, and then there's the international that is international, which means people from other nationalities are vibing. Last, for example, you see people from Norway, from Sweden, everywhere vibing to this. Can Asake get to that level, or we're just going to have Nigerians in diaspora vibing to, his sound?
Well, now, for him to achieve that level, right?
Does he need to change his sound?
No, he doesn't need to change his sound. His sound will remain the same. All he has to do is the language of the sound, language use of the sound. If you understand what I mean.
But Yoruba is his major stronghold.
Yes, and sonically is sounding good, but his song is sonically, all his songs sound good. People don't necessarily have to listen to this album. But what he can do is, maybe if he really does want to appeal to that audience of, for example, a Burna Boy in the what he needs to do is, Burna Boy was smart in what he did. He could do you the dancehall thing and all that, right?
Yeah.
He can do any of that. But what Burna Boy was able to do, in as much as when you do interviews and he's trying to sound like posh, like a westernized guy, but when Burna Boy is making some records, see Last, for example, made with local swagger.
Yeah.
Made with local swagger. And that's not the only song. There's Common Person. Burna Boy is singing with pidgin, right? Singing in pidgin, using less of any local lingo, but it's still localized. So even if you really want to, if you're a foreigner, you want to understand what he's saying, you know that it's partly English. Some words are popping out and all that.
Yeah, all this.
So intentionally, he's not trying to completely change his style. He's still Burna Boy, he's singing well, but there's in his mind, he has changed the language to be something that can be universal. That's why Caribbean people, they mess with him so much, because pidgin English, Caribbean English, any sort of pidgin from any of these Sierra Leone and co. Even English itself is related. You hear the words and you would understand quite a bit of it. And he made it sonically good, and that's working for him. But Burna Boy of years before, that's not him. That's not Burna Boy of here. That's not Burna Boy of Odilo. You get, but it worked for him. And if Asake wants to do something similar, he's not particularly changing his sound. Yeah, he's just making slight adjustments, like I'll call it, just slight.
And can Asake do that?
Of course he can. That being said, doesn't mean he can also be successful, being as fully original as
possible. Yeah.
As possible. Yeah.
Anyways, guys, let's have your thoughts on that one, Asake. Of course, maybe, in a way, using the Burna Boy template or the Whiskey template or whatever template as well. What exactly do you think Asake have to do to go, fully international? And is he really ready for the international scene? The US tour is starting very soon. Should he have started with the UK or the US? Is a perfect place to start. Big Lala has talked about Olamide not being, all of. I mean, I'm still going to hold you to that. But what do you think about Asake and the international, international scene? Put your comments down below. Of course, we'll see you on the next one very, very soon. Please stay safe and God bless.